everyone, it's your girl Maddie here, aka Beaver Mosh, here today to talk to you about Giants of Mirk from the Manitoba based project Vare. And Vare plays a very raw and atmospheric black metal that incorporates some elements of dark ambience at times. And I know I've been talking about a lot of Canadian black metal as of late, but I don't know. I can't help it. It's been so good lately. It's just so good. And Vare is a one-person project with everything being recorded by Fidel, and this album is recorded in a very lo-fi manner, and it even kind of leans into some psychedelia at times. This album has that real cold veneer that tends to make black metal so great, and why I love the sound so much. Also, can we talk about this cover art? That's a good cover art. That cover art goes really hard. I like that cover. This is a good cover. Props to whoever designed this art. Anyway, Vare opens this album in perhaps the creepiest way possible on the first track, The War of Mirk, with these slow, brooding pianos and synths, and you get this very distorted, disguised, low-tuned spoken word passage. The guitars come in with these rather nasty buzzsaw riffs, and the vocals are shrill and menacing. And this track just altogether has that very classic black metal feel to it. On Bone Mountain, the drums in particular are very skeletal and minimalist. The snares, this very distinctly compressed pop to them. I actually really enjoy it. Like, I like a lot how the snare sounds on this album. You get these very eerie, enveloping synths and these bleak, mid-paced guitar leads that really seem to conjure a sort of dark mysticism for the listener. On Cain the Gatekeeper, things start off with these trebly, dark, distorted arpeggios that really suck you into the already really ominous atmosphere on this track. And the rawness that is so prominent on this album really helps to make the thing feel sinister, but while being very raw and lo-fi. The individual tracks do stand in their own and stick out, and you can be pulled apart, and you can discern different moments and different things that different instruments are doing, which is kind of impressive in a way. I really enjoy the snarled 666s. That might be a little over the top, but it really works. It's really snotty and super pronounced, and it definitely is a memorable moment here. There's such a ferocity in the riffs that when paired with what the vocals are doing on this track, it creates a really nightmarish effect in a very good way. On Count Oaken, you get these slithering guitars that are pretty hypnotic and there's a groove to the vocals, not in like a particularly sort of catchy way, more like they match these already very marching qualities of the other instruments going on. The drums really take the lead on Steps of Ice with these incessant snare hits and these just gnarly drum fills that carry the track through its entirety. Battle Through the Horde has these dizzying, almost chromatic riffs that if you're following along, it could be a real head jerker. The vocals here are considerably grating and strained and horrifically sounding, and those are compliments here. Struggle in the Abyss. You get those evil, grim tremolo riffs that make black metal nerds like myself and possibly you feel so warm and fuzzy inside. And there's the same time with these tremolos, there's a creativeness in the sequencing. You get some more quick chord changes mixed in with some more sustained, longer held notes that are not predictable in how they're gonna come. This is definitely not a carbon copy black metal track at all. Warrior of Chaos has these slow, tension building riffs with some minimalist drumming to match. It's very dirge-like and definitely conjures these feelings of isolation and unease and anger. Escape Destitution is an instrumental conclusion, and it's probably the most harmonious and agreeable this album has sounded for its entirety. And it's but not taking it too far, it's a good way to close things up. Giants of Mirk is not a pretty black metal album at all. Not trying to be. If you're looking for melodicism in your black metal, this is not the record for you. If you want something that sounds really big and epic, or you're like really into that more pagan black metal sound, this is not the record for you either. If you want something very progressive or a black metal album that combines other forms of music very prominently, also, this is probably not the record you're looking for. This is a very straightforward, to the point black metal album. And for me, that rules. I'm always looking for that and think there's always room for black metal bands that want to embrace and really own the sound at its roots and do it well and find ways to capture that classic feel without sounding like 1,000 other black metal bands that find a way to simultaneously be to the point and have its own identity, which I think this album does well. If you're a black metal fan, I think you're gonna like this quite a bit. It has a very grim aesthetic. It has a dark, icy atmosphere, which are words I'm obviously gonna use a lot, but that's how you talk about black metal. And with the rawness, it still sounds really good. There's a lot of good tracks. There's a lot of good use of texture. Please, give it a listen. If you've enjoyed this review, please hit that like button. It It really helps a lot. If you'd be so kind and want to be supportive of the channel or want to be informed and in the know of when I review something else, because I review pretty frequently, please subscribe. It would mean a ton. If you've listened to this album or have any other thoughts or any feedback, please leave them in the comments. I love reading those. You can follow me on Twitter. There's a link to that in the bio of this channel. Please, keep it metal. My name is Maddie, aka Beaver Mosh. Signing off.